Hi friends, welcome back. Today we are going to talk about asteroid belt. The asteroid belt is a torus-shaped region in the solar system located roughly between the orbits of the planet Jupiter and Mars that is occupied by great many solid irregularly shaped bodies of many sizes but much smaller than planet called asteroids or minor planets. This asteroid belt is also called the main asteroid belt or the main belt to distinguish it from other asteroid populations in the solar system such as near Earth asteroids and Trojan asteroid. About half of the mass of the belt is contained in four largest asteroids Ceres, Vesta, Pallas, and Hygiea. The total mass of the asteroid belt is approximately 4% of that of the Moon. Ceres is the only object in the asteroid belt large enough to be a dwarf planet. It's about 950 kilometers in diameter, whereas Vesta, Pallas, and Hygiea have mean diameters less than 600 kilometers. The remaining body range down to the size of a dust particle. The asteroid material is so thinly distributed with numerous unmanned spacecraft have traversed it without incidents. Nonetheless, collisions between large asteroids do occur, and these can produce an asteroid family whose members have similar orbital characteristics and composition. Individual asteroids within the asteroid belt are categorized by their spectra, which most fall into three basic groups: carbonaceous C type, silicate S type, and metal rich M type. The asteroid belt formed from a primordial solar nebula as a group of planetesimals. Planetesimals are smaller precursors of protoplanets. Between Mars and Jupiter, however, gravitational turbulence from Jupiter imbued the protoplanets with too much orbital energy for them to accelerate into the planet. Collisions became too violent, and instead of fusing together, the planetesimals and most protoplanets scattered. As a result, 99% of the asteroid belt's original mass was lost in the first 100 million years of the solar system's history. Some of the fragments eventually found their way into the inner solar system, leading to meteoroid impacts in the inner planets. Asteroid orbits continue to appreciably prolonged wherever their period of revolution about the Sun forms an orbital resonance with Jupiter. At this orbital distance, a Kirkwood gap occurs as they are swept into other orbits. Classes of small as solar system bodies in other regions are near Earth's objects. The Centaurus, the Kuiper belt objects, they scatter disk objects, the Sednoids, and the Oort cloud objects. On 22nd January 2014, ESA scientists reported the detection for the first definite time of water vapor on Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt. The detection was made by using the far infrared abilities of the Herschel Space Observatory. The finding was unexpected because comets, not asteroids, are typically considered into sprout jets and plumes, according to one of the scientists. The lines are becoming more and more blurred between the comets, and in 1596, John Kepler Cooper predicted between Mars and Jupiter, I place a planet in his Mysterium Cosmographicum. While analyzing Tycho Brahe, Kepler thought that there was too large a gap between orbits of Mars and Jupiter. In an anonymous footnote to his 1766 translation of Charles Bonnet's Contemplation de la Nature, the astronomer Johann Daniel Titu of Wittenberg noted an apparent pattern in the layout of the planet, now known as Tito's Bode law. If one begin a numerical sequence at 0, then include a 3, 6, 12, 24, 48, etc., doubling each time, and added 4 to each number and divided by 10, this produces a remarkably close approximation to the radii of the orbits of the planet. Known planets are measured in astronomical units provided one allowed for a missing planet equivalent to 24 in a sequence between the orbits of Mars 12 and Jupiter 48. In his footnote, the US declared, but should the Lord architect have left the space empty? Not at all. When William Herschel discovered Uranus in 1781, the planet's orbit matched with the law almost perfectly, leading astronomers to conclude that there had to be a planet between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Giuseppe Pizzi discovered of Ceres, the largest object in the asteroid belt. Ceres was known as planet but later reclassified as an asteroid from 2006 as a dwarf planet. On January 1st, 1801, Giuseppe Pizzi, chair of astronomy at the University of Palermo, Sicily, found a tiny moving object in an orbit with exactly the radius predicted by his pattern. He dubbed it Ceres after the Roman goddess of harvest and patron of Sicily. Pizzi initially believed it to be a comet, but its lack of a comma suggests it was a planet. Thus, aforementioned pattern predicted that semi-major axes of all 8 planets of the time: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Ceres, Jupiter, Saturn and Uranus. 15 months later, Heinrich Ober's discovered a second object in the same region. Pallas, unlike the other known planets, Ceres and Pallas remained points of light even under the highest telescope magnification instead of resolving into disks. Apart from their rapid movement, they appeared indistinguishably from stars. According in 1802, William Herschel suggested that they were placed into a separate category named asteroids after the Greek asteroid meaning star-like. Upon completing a series of observations of Ceres and Pallas, he concluded neither the appellation of planets nor that of comets can with any property of language be given out to these two stars. They resemble small stars so much hardly to distinguish from them. From this, their asteroidal appearance, if I take my name and call them asteroids reserving for myself, however, the liberty of changing that name if another more expressive of nature should occur. By 1807, further investigation revealed 2 new objects in the region, Juno and Vesta. The burning of Lilith in Napoleonic Wars, where the main body of work has been done. In 1802, shortly after discovering Pallas, Olbers suggested to Herschel that Ceres and Pallas were fragments of much larger planet that once occupied the Mars and Jupiter region. This planet having suffered an internal explosion or cometary impact many million years before. Odyssean astronomer K.N. Savchenko suggested that Ceres, Pallas, Juno and Vesta were escaped from the moons rather than the fragments of the exploded planet. The large amount of energy required to destroy a planet combined with the belt's low combined mass, which is only about 4% of the mass of the Earth's moon, does not support the hypothesis. Further, the significant chemical differences between the asteroids became difficult to explain if they came from the same planet. In 2018, a study from researchers at University of Florida found that asteroid belt was created from the remains of several ancient planets instead of single planet, brought this first period of discovery to a close. A hypothesis to the asteroid belt creation is a general in solar system. A planetary formation is thought to have occurred via a process compatible to the long-standing nebular hypothesis. A cloud of interstellar dust and gas collapsed under the influence of gravity to form a rotating disk of a material that then further condensed to form the Sun and other planets. During the first few million years, the solar system's history, an acceleration process of sticky collisions caused the coupling of small particles, which gradually increased in size. Friends, please like, subscribe and view all my videos and the channel.